My name is Jake. I'm 21, and for the past 2 years, my girlfriend Stacy, who's 20, lived with me and my family. We'd been together for almost 4 years, and I thought we were solid. When she got into a major argument with her dad, my mom, being the kind-hearted person she is, offered Stacy a place to stay. I agreed without hesitation because I loved her, or at least, I thought I did. I've always been a bit jealous in relationships, but nothing out of hand. However, looking back, there were signs, little things that didn't sit right. It all started about a year ago. We were playing code names with my sister, her boyfriend, and Stacy. The way Stacy and my sister's boyfriend interacted caught my attention. They seemed overly comfortable, laughing too much at each other's jokes. At first, I brushed it off, but it nagged at me. When I brought it up with Stacy later, she dismissed it as nothing. I wanted to believe her, so I let it go. But that night planted a seed of doubt in my mind. With my busy schedule, school and working late hours as a cook, I wasn't home much. Stacy, on the other hand, was often home with my sister's boyfriend, whose construction job kept him around during his off weeks. Over time, small changes in their behavior raised my suspicions again. Stacy started avoiding eye contact with him, their conversations became stilted, and the once easy dynamic shifted. When I confronted her, she said she was acting distant to avoid upsetting me. I felt bad for doubting her and promised to drop it for good. I kept that promise, until I couldn't anymore. 6 days ago, everything changed. I was lying on the couch in the living room, scrolling through my phone. Stacy was in the kitchen, half visible from where I was, making a smoothie. My sister's boyfriend came downstairs to make himself lunch. I pretended not to care, though I kept an eye on their movements through the reflection in the glass of the back door. At first, everything seemed normal, 2 people awkwardly moving around each other in the kitchen. Then it happened. He slapped her on the backside. My body froze, every nerve in me screaming. My mind raced to process what I had just seen. When he finally went back upstairs, I stood up, grabbed my shoes, and headed for the door. Stacy stopped me, confused. "Where are you going?" she asked. I couldn't hold it in. "Really? I just saw what happened." Then I left, slamming the door behind me. She chased after me, yelling, trying to defend herself. She accused me of imagining things, saying I only thought I saw something because I was paranoid. Her denial turned into threats. She'd leave me, move out, drop out of school, and ruin her life. I gave in. I apologized, begged her to stay, and promised to never bring it up again. Deep down, though, I knew what I saw. That night, I ordered a hidden camera from Amazon. It was small, discreet, and perfect for what I needed. 2 days later, I set it up in the living room, near the corner of the curtains, where it could catch everything in the kitchen and living room. The first day, I checked the footage. Nothing. I felt paranoid and foolish but cleared the space and put the chip back in. The next morning, I woke up early, anxious to check again. This time, I found what I was looking for. At 3:15 a.m., I saw my sister's boyfriend come downstairs and sit on the couch. Minutes later, Stacy appeared, walking upstairs from our room. She crossed the living room and sat on his lap. My heart sank as I watched her lean into him. I couldn't watch anymore. I slammed my laptop shut, sick with anger and betrayal. I stormed downstairs, woke Stacy up, and shoved the laptop in front of her. As the video played, her face went pale. She slammed it shut, unable to speak. Finally, I broke the silence. "You're the most conniving, disgusting sociopath I've ever met. Pack your stuff and get out. If you don't, I'll send this to everyone you know." My voice was cold and final. She broke down into a pathetic, teary apology, begging me to understand, but I didn't care. Stacy called her dad, who came to pick her up that morning. Her things are still here, but she's gone. My sister's boyfriend didn't escape either. Once my parents found out, he was kicked out too. Now he's living somewhere else, and honestly, Stacy might even move in with him. I don't care anymore. Even though Stacy and my sister's boyfriend were out of the house, the fallout from what happened was far from over. The betrayal felt like a deep cut that wouldn't stop bleeding. I replayed the moments in my head, the times I had ignored my gut, the arguments where I apologized when I wasn't wrong, and the hours spent convincing myself I was imagining things. It all pointed back to that night in the kitchen and the video evidence that sealed the truth. I couldn't escape the anger and humiliation. The house felt emptier without Stacy. Her belongings were still scattered around, reminders of the life we had built together, or what I thought we had built. I didn't know what to do with her things. Throwing them out seemed satisfying but cruel. Giving them back felt like doing her a favor she didn't deserve. I left them untouched, unable to decide. Then there was my sister. She was devastated when she found out what her boyfriend had done. She called him every name under the sun, but her anger was directed inward too. She apologized to me over and over, though none of this was her fault. My family was shaken. My mom couldn't believe what had happened under her roof, and my dad barely spoke for days. They were heartbroken, not just for me, but for the damage done to our family as a whole. I tried to distract myself with work and school, but the betrayal weighed on me. Nights were the worst. I'd lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, consumed by thoughts of Stacy. I hated that I missed her, that I wanted to talk to her, even after everything she had done. I hated myself for still caring about someone who clearly didn't care about me. One night, curiosity got the better of me, and I looked her up on social media. That's when I saw it. Stacy had moved in with my sister's ex-boyfriend. They were both smiling in a photo, sitting in what looked like his new apartment. The caption was something infuriatingly simple, like, "Fresh start," with a heart emoji. It made me sick. The audacity of it all, the ease with which they moved on after shattering so many lives. I blocked her. I blocked both of them. I wanted no more windows into their lives. But even without seeing them, the memories haunted me. I couldn't stop wondering if Stacy ever regretted what she did, if she ever thought about the damage she caused. Probably not. People like her move through life taking what they want and leaving destruction in their wake. I knew I couldn't let this consume me forever. My anger, my sadness, and my humiliation, it was all valid, but it couldn't be my whole life. I had to find a way to rebuild, even if I didn't know where to start. In the end, I've come to terms with the fact that some people don't deserve your love, no matter how much you give. Stacy's betrayal taught me that trust is fragile and that ignoring red flags only leads to more pain. It's been hard letting go of the plans I had for our future, but I realize now that I was holding on to an illusion. The girl I thought I knew didn't exist. Life hasn't been easy since she left. Every time I see her belongings in the house, I'm reminded of what happened. But I'm learning to focus on myself, to use this as a chance to grow stronger. I've started therapy, taken on new hobbies, and thrown myself into school and work. It's not an overnight fix, but each small step is part of moving forward. As for Stacy and my sister's ex, I don't care what happens to them anymore. Whether their relationship lasts or burns out doesn't matter to me. What matters is that I don't let their betrayal define me. They're out of my life, and I intend to keep it that way. If you're in a similar situation, remember this: betrayal says more about them than it ever will about you. Let go of the anger when you're ready, but don't rush the process. Healing takes time, and it's okay to feel lost for a while. Just don't lose yourself completely. If you enjoyed this story or found it relatable, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more. Let's navigate life's challenges together.